What is the way forward in this Europe of ours? For us Muslims, the people who want to worship the Creator, the real. On the posters for this event, if I can find one, is a picture of a gold coin. Sidi Abdul Samad referred to it briefly beforehand. Now this has many levels of meaning. It's not chance that it's on here. It's a symbol, as Sidi Abdul Samad said. I can show you an example of the real thing. This is a gold dinar. Now this is real gold. This says something about Islam, and it also says something about the modern world that we live in. It says something about Islam because this is real. This is gold. This is not paper. This is not something I buy at Ryman's. This is gold. This has a market value on international markets. And this particular piece of gold weighs 4.25 grams and is worth approximately 32 pounds. And it still is. What's more, in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, it was also worth approximately the same amount, zero inflation. My proof? There is a hadith in the collections of Al-Bukhari which talks, it's actually in the section, nothing to do with economics, nothing to do with sheep, nothing to do with anything else. It's in the section on karamat, on the minor miracles, the high qualities of the companions. And there is a hadith about one particular companion whose name was Urwa, and he said that the Prophet ﷺ gave him a dinar, approximately this amount of gold, to buy a sheep. Urwa went and he was able to buy, let me get the right order here, sorry. Yes, he was able to buy 2 sheep because he knew where to go and he managed to get 2 sheep. He sold off one of those sheep for a dinar. So if you like, the normal value was a dinar, but if you knew where to go, you could get it cheap. And he knew where to go, so he got it cheap. And the Prophet ﷺ wanted a sheep for the dinar. So he sold off one of those sheep for a dinar and went back to the Prophet ﷺ with a dinar and with the sheep that the Prophet ﷺ had asked him for. And then the point of the hadith, as it's recorded in Bukhari, is that the Prophet ﷺ then made dua for him to give him blessings in his trade, because he'd given him back both the dinar that he'd given him and the sheep that he'd asked for. And then Urwa said after that time, it was as if that even he said that even if he was to be trading in earth, he would get benefit from it. He would make a profit from the dua of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, from our point of view, this tells us a number of things. First of all, the power of dua. First of all, the love of the people for the Prophet ﷺ. We're prepared to do these things. It tells us a number of things. But on this very simple, direct level, it tells us that this amount of gold could buy a sheep at that time, and if you were lucky and if you knew where to go, 2 sheep.